So I've probably voided my PSC warranty.
Welcome to Tweaker Garage. For those that follow the channel, you might remember the steering woes we had on the Jeep Commando out at Sand Hollow last trip. So for Project 37s, we're going to upgrade it with PSC Hydro Assist. I ordered a kit for a CJ7 thinking that it would mostly fit. And it mostly did fit. But then again, there was some stuff that did not, so there was some modification required. And while we were at it, we upgraded the pitman arm to a beefy unit from Parts Mike. So this video will walk you through installation and some of the problem solving we had to do on a Commando with a 304. We hope you find this video both informational and entertaining. Thanks for watching. All right, it's PSC steering day here on the old Commando. It's actually been PSC steering week, trying to figure out some bracketry and whatnot. But we're gonna do a big bore box and the P-style pump, the PSC ram, and reservoir. Now we have some packaging issues here on the old 304. The stock bracketry here did not work with the pump. Put it up a little too high, couldn't get good flow to the pump from the reservoir, and then it also put the fan belt too close to this vacuum lines. So I did a lot of reading on some of the forums, and I know there's a kit out there on eBay that moves the pump down, but then that puts the fan belt in the way of the radiator hose. So looking at the stock bracket, I figured there might be a way to make it work, but I had to chop it up a little bit. We've made some brackets that are going to relocate the pump in a slightly lower position and should get good gravity feed from the reservoir here. So let's get started with the installation. So this bracket is going to install off the pump here, and it's going to give me adjustability for tensioning on the belt. So I'll be able to move this now to get tension on the belt. So this is the original belt here, but because I've lowered this pump down, this one's going to be too long for me, so I'm going to have to go get a shorter belt. But that's going to give me the clearance. I need from that vacuum fitting, especially once I rotate it back, the pump drops a little bit, so I got room for that vacuum fitting, and I'll be able to gravity feed the pump with the reservoir.
So I've probably voided my PSC warranty, but the issue I have is when it's installed, the vent on the top hits the hood ever so much, and I can't really get this any lower because I'm already slightly uphill feeding the pump, and I can't really get this any lower because then I got belt issues with the radiator hose. So we cut 1/2 inch out of this, and we're gonna give it the old Tigaroo.
That's where it got all ugly.
So we got the tabs tacked up on the axle and the tie rod. We can go ahead and get it all welded up, painted, and start installing the ram. So getting the hydraulic lines routed down to the steering box was no small task. As a matter of fact, I ended up having to cut the frame just to make room for the fittings, and I had to attach the hoses and feed them up through while lifting the steering box up and installing it. I had a custom line made for the high pressure side coming from the pump down to the feed on the steering box. And then I got a fitting that was recommended by Blaine Johnson, who, if you're not familiar with him, he runs Black Magic Brakes, and he's a little icon in the Jeep industry. He recommended this Edelman fitting that I used on the return side. The fitting ended up being a little low to clear the frame, but I was able to bend it and route it up and over to the cooler and then back to the reservoir. The other thing I wasn't really happy with the kit was it shipped with 4 of these reusable fittings that are all 90 degrees, and that doesn't work coming out of the pump. So I replaced those, one straight and one with a 45, to keep the hoses high and tight and out of harm's way. All in all, like I said, very tight, but I think it came out quite tidy. So that pretty much wraps up the build on the PSC Hydro Assist Kit. Will it work? Only time will tell. Tune back in while we breathe new life into the Dana 20 transfer case with the twin sticks, and we put the final touches on the new transmission mount and skid plate. I appreciate you guys watching the video. Please like and subscribe, and we hope to see you out on the trail.